Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into a topic that a lot of solar DIYers are curious about, and honestly, a little nervous about too. It's called overpaneling. We're going to break down exactly how you can safely squeeze more power out of your system without, blowing up your expensive gear. All right, let's get into it. So let me just ask you this straight up. Is your solar charge controller the weak link in your whole setup? It's a really common fear, right? A lot of people deliberately undersize their solar arrays because they're just terrified of overloading the controller. And that fear leads to this super common practice. You get a 400-watt controller, so you buy 400 watts of solar panels. It seems to make sense. It feels safe. But here's the thing. You are almost certainly leaving a whole lot of potential power just sitting on the table. Which brings us to the big secret here, overpaneling. This is how you unlock all that extra power. It's how you get your batteries charged up way faster, especially in those days that are, less than perfect. So what is it really? Well, overpaneling is literally just connecting a higher total wattage of solar panels to your charge controller than what's printed on the box. And the key thing to get here is that modern MPPT, that's maximum power point tracking controllers, are actually designed to handle this. And this right here just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got your standard one-to-one setup. And on the right, we've bumped up the panel wattage way past what the controller is rated for. Now, the controller's not going to magically produce more than 400 watts, but what it will do is hit that 400-watt peak way earlier in the day and stay there much longer, even when it gets a little cloudy. Okay, so how far can you actually push this? Well, a really common rule of thumb is that you can often oversize your solar array up to about 125% of your MPPT controller's rating. So for that 400-watt controller we're talking about, you could probably hook up 500 watts of panels. But, and believe me, this is a huge but, the wattage isn't the real danger here. And that brings us to the single most important part of this entire explainer. The real danger, the thing that can cause catastrophic failure, isn't about having too many watts. It's all about the volts. You see, your controller is actually pretty smart. It knows how to manage extra watts. It'll just clip the extra power it can't use. No big deal. But there is one electrical law, one specific limit that is completely absolute. It's a rule you can never, ever break. So this is the main takeaway. Wattage, that's a soft limit. The controller just ignores any extra. But voltage, think of it like electrical pressure. That is a hard, destructive limit. If you push past your controller's maximum voltage rating, even for a split second, you will fry it. And I mean permanently. There's no coming back from that. And this is where it gets really, really serious. The voltage coming from your panels isn't a fixed number. You have to pay incredibly close attention to something called the VOC, or the open circuit voltage. And the biggest variable? Cold weather. Why? Because when the temperature drops, the voltage from your panels actually spikes up. And what's so wild is just how clear this chart makes that relationship. Take a look at this example panel. At a nice standard 77 degrees Fahrenheit, it's got a VOC of 46.1 volts. But drop that temp down to freezing, it's already jumped to almost 50 volts. And at a really cold 5 degrees Fahrenheit, it's pushing nearly 53 volts. That is not a small change. Now, let's say your charge controller has this number printed on the side, 150 volts max. That number is your absolute red line. It's the ceiling. You cannot cross it. Period. So what do you think happens if you wire 3 of those panels from our example together in series on that really cold day? Well, you do the math. 52.9 volts times 3 is 158.7 volts. Boom! You just sailed right past that 150-volt limit. And in that moment, you have very likely just turned your very expensive charge controller into a very expensive paperweight. Okay, so we've definitely established the danger here. But listen, don't worry, this isn't meant to scare you away from overpaneling. It's meant to empower you to do it right. There's a very clear, very safe method to follow, so let's walk through it together. All right, here is your 5-step plan for doing this safely and getting it right. Step 1, and this is the most important, you have to calculate the maximum voltage for the coldest temperature your area has ever recorded. That's your true VOC. Step 2, figure out your max current so you can get the right size wires and fuses. Step 3, plan out your series and parallel connections so that voltage number stays safely under your controller's limit. 4, use the right safety gear. Fuses are not optional. And finally, number 5, once you've got it all hooked up, just keep an eye on the system for a few days to make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to. Whew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's just boil this all down to the most critical takeaways. the things you absolutely need to remember to master your system's power potential safely. So let's run through the absolute golden rules. First, your controller's voltage limit is non-negotiable. Don't even think about exceeding it. Second, cold weather makes voltage go up. Always plan for the absolute coldest day imaginable where you live. Third, know your wiring. Series adds voltage, parallel adds current. And finally, the big one. Overpaneling is an amazing technique. It really works, but you have to do it with respect for the laws of electricity and use the proper safety equipment. So, there you have it. The potential is right there for the taking. You can get more power, you can charge your batteries faster, and you can have a much more resilient system overall. The secret was never about just blindly adding more panels. It's always been about understanding the fundamental rules of electricity that govern them. So now that you know the rules, the only question left is, what are you going to build?